Hello, friends. Welcome to the Creative Healing Podcast.
Hello!
Holly is waving. I'm your host, Grant Davis, and today I'm here with the wonderful, brilliant Holly Lorge. How you doing today?
Very good. It's a good day.
Yeah, I think we had a good day.
Yes!
We've been hanging out for a bit. So
I know. I see you more than my husband.
Don't tell him.
Yeah, don't tell him, all right? Write that down later.
Holly and I met here at Take Two Performance Studio, which I think you will notice will be a theme. I met most people at Take Two Performance Studio.
Yep.
Because it is a space for creatives.
And it's next to the Jack in the Box.
Straight up.
Yes.
Straight up. Invaluable resource.
I tell you, some days.
See, I'm in trouble because it's too close to the Chipotle. Holly, how long have you been here at Take Two?
Since 2015.
Gotcha.
Not at this location. I think we were somewhere else back then.
Yes, back in South Reno.
Yep. Teaching since here with Justine and part of her lineup with the agency.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Way back then. And kids classes, teaching the kids classes, adult classes, or subbing, stepping in as needed. Helping with IN. I did that 3 years ago, helped out. The Idols and Icons show. We just help. We step in. We help each other all the time. So it's not just you do one thing and that's it. Everybody's got a lot of spokes in the wheel.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's my favorite part about being here is a sense of community.
Yes.
I mean, even on the days where I'm here for 12 hours all by myself, I can still feel the spirit and the energy outside of the ghosts that live here. But
yes. Oh, there's some activity here.
There's some activity.
You picked up on it right away.
Something's going on.
Oh, we're not alone.
And how did you get connected to Take Two?
Dan, my husband, and our two kids, we moved back to this area in 2007, and we've been actors and creative types our whole lives and wanted to get back into that. You know, it never goes away. Raising kids, paying a mortgage, crock pot, whatever. It's still in you. When you find the time, you're like, I got to get back into it. So I think I just looked it up online or Yellow Pages, and there was Justine's, listing. And oh, shoot. And so called her up. Dan and I went in, auditioned for her, got with her agency, and she saw my resume. She was like, would you ever like to be a substitute teacher? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Whoa, that's quick.
Yes. We liked each other right away.
Well, and you guys had met before.
Oh, she does not like this story.
We can edit it out if it gets us in trouble.
Once upon a time on the Showboat, and this is true, Showboat Hotel, 1982,
yes.
One hot July day. It was the Miss Teen Nevada pageant. I was there and 25 other silly girls at the casino, twirling batons, tap dancing. I don't know what we were doing.
A whole shebang.
And she was one of the girls. And I was one of the girls, but we never knew each other. I don't even think we said hello, but I thought, gosh, she's a beautiful person. And I had a fresh perm and a couple,
go
acne
off.
Going,
yes, I love
in
it.
This room? And that was that in 1982. And then years later, 2015, we meet and I get signed with the agency. And I'm looking through my scrapbook at home of my time in the beauty pageant, which was very short. And there's a group picture. All of us girls together. Yes. And in the front, I'm in the back by the free sandwiches in the bathroom.
Yeah.
She's in the front. I'm like, gosh, that girl looks familiar. And it's Justine. I know it's her. I grab it. I bring it in to Take Two, and I show it to her. Is this you? 1982, Showboat Hotel? Where did you get that? I can't believe. Oh, she grabbed it from me. I haven't seen it since, but she tells me once in a while that it's in her office somewhere.
Ooh.
And I'm not allowed to share that photo. And now that I've said that, I will find it and show it to you immediately.
Yes, that's the next activity at hand.
So 1982 is when our paths crossed. Yeah.
How it's really incredible how that all kind of happened.
I know, isn't that weird? 40 years later, or it was earlier than that, but I recognized her, which good for her. She still looks the same and beautiful as she in 1982. So whatever that's about, I don't know.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about being here at Take Two as I kind of develop a relationship with the community is how the teachers we're finding that we like to talk shop a little bit.
Yeah.
You and I, me and the other teachers. I'm sure you do the same with the teachers.
Oh, yeah.
What a great opportunity to connect in a way and understand our students in a deeper sense from other
Check in with
people's.
each other.
Yes,
Hey,
yes.
this is what I've experienced. Just like a teacher in a regular, educational setting. Check in with each other. Have
Yeah.
you experienced that? Have they done this? Let me know where their head is at or what I need to know to have that student have a better experience, no matter who is teaching that student.
Yes, yes. What has been your... Give us a bit of a timeline with your relationship to teaching. You've given me so much insight, so I'm curious where all that insight kind of becomes absorbed from.
Insight. I always, everything I've learned as, let's say the professional sense, moved to Hollywood in 1986, started working right away from Carson City and had to get to, right after graduation, get to Hollywood right away. Commercials, sitcoms, film, everything you could think of. I just loved that feeling of whatever was brewing inside of me, funny things, silly things, weird things, loud things, to share it. It's almost like opening up a box or watching popcorn pop.
Yeah.
I just loved being in that moment and watching people and learning the process and sharing stories and getting to know people so quickly on a set or on stage.
Right.
And, having that little new second separate life from your typical office job and everything like that. So I just loved, and I always wanted people to also have that for themselves. It's okay, yeah, do your life, but come play. Get a little messy.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe you've had that secret desire to sing or dance or paint or, do a Shakespeare play. Right. Do it, for God's sake. TikTok. There's no judgment, and you're surrounded always by people that support you and want you to do well. Definitely here. Yeah. People from all walks of life. That's what I love. Coming from all their life, their whatever they're doing, and they come in here and they're creative together. Trust and confidence and collaboration and rawness. That's what I love.
Vulnerability.
Yeah, peel back some layers, have some fun.
Yeah. I mean, so this podcast is all about this idea of creativity and the healing element of it, and I think you just spoke to a huge component of that, of like, how do we detach from our everyday lives to find something fulfilling for us and then move from there, right?
And give yourself permission, because we know, I'm supposed to be this, I'm supposed to do that, I'm not ever supposed to flip my hair back like that or shout or walk funny. Give yourself permission to play. Just explore and create like we used to do when we were kids. And then we all got jobs. And then we all paid taxes, and use our blinker when we turn right or left. And then all these rules and things.
Yeah.
But this is when you let your creative, blood flow or lifeline ignite that. Gosh, it feels so good. Life has meaning again, whatever that is.
Yeah, I think what I've found through my teaching is that supporting my students in their sense of play and fun and levity allows them to also become more comfortable with what is on the other side of that. Yes. What can be reflected within that, the pain. Like when you can explore one end of something, you can explore the other end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put your head on a swivel, man. Look left and right, inside, outside, top to bottom.
Yeah. I know that my journey with the craft of acting has always tended to be like this really serious, I'm an actor and I gotta take it seriously and I gotta do the work to take it seriously. And just within the last few months, like, I felt this freeness to not put that kind of weight into it.
Yes.
And what I've also found is, like, then it starts to become more authentic.
Yes.
Because you're not saying, oh, it has to look like something, it has to feel like something. It just is something.
It just is.
Yeah.
Just plant yourself and, ride that wave.
Yeah.
And some of the greatest dramatic actors, when they turn to comedy, might feel like dark comedy, like you've seen Jim Carrey do dark comedy, or Robin Williams. We'll turn from comedy to, when he was with us, to drama. I mean, maybe once upon a time they were told, you can only do this. You're this kind of actor. You can only do drama, you can only do comedy. But if you let yourself explore all of it, it's fascinating and it's fun.
Yeah.
Unlock all that,
Yeah.
Even if you fail, who cares? You tried.
Yeah, I think that there's something incredibly powerful about failure. And I think that within the work that we do, failure is very limited. Like there's kind of no such thing as failure within it. Like as long as there's an exploration.
Right.
Like
A learning moment, a teachable
yeah,
moment, whatever you want
yeah,
to call it.
yeah.
I mean, think of all the things you didn't do out of fear of failure or fear of being watched or talked about or whatever, you know. And then years later, you're like, dang it, I wish I would have jumped in the pool.
That's what we were just talking about. That's interesting because we were just talking about that today. I have this great exercise called kitty cat careers that I want to introduce to my students.
That's just fun to say.
Yes,
Kitty cat
kitty cat careers.
Word of the day, kitty cat.
And when I was back in LA, whenever that teacher would my teacher would present this exercise, I was always like, "This is so dumb. This is no fun. I want to do something more serious and get all up in my feelings." And now that I'm in this new stage of my life and how I choose to live it, I'm like, man, do I want to do that exercise to the fullest extent and be just the most kitty cat doctor or the most...
Call me kitty cat.
Yes.
Yes.
Like there's really a lot of advantages to finding the fun.
Heck yeah. And now that you're a teacher, you're pulling from all, you know, that old actor's toolbox of Once Upon a Time, you know, stuff you thought maybe you didn't like, that now that you've grown, matured, you know, your brain is a little bigger, and you're like, oh, you know what? That was useful. That was a good exercise. I wasn't paying attention then. Now I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's called growth.
I'm hoping that we're heading in that direction.
Yes.
Do you feel like, I on that note, like, do you believe that your creativity in acting informs your creativity within your teaching?
I would say yes to that, because I still take acting classes, even though I've been teaching for a long time. I always say, well, just like they tell us when you start, you know, tune your instrument. I always say two. Just like athletes, they still go to the gym. They still go to batting practice. I don't care if they're still hitting home runs. They still have to work out, do the, you know, put in the sweat equity. Don't be a lazy actor. So when I go to class, I challenge myself, scare myself sometimes, go to those places. And then it's inspiring when you're all done. And then you want to bring that excitement and inspiration and challenge to your students.
Yes.
Go there. Try it. Try whatever it is.
Yeah.
Unlock yourself. Especially at a place like this, or at most acting classes, you're in a safe space. Everybody's on board together.
Right.
They care about each other and they want you to do well. You know, we're invisibly holding hands, so to speak.
Yeah, no, there's a sense of safety.
Yes.
There's a sense of safety. There's a sense of understanding of, like, I was vulnerable in front of you, and now I'm getting the opportunity to allow you to be vulnerable in front of me, and through that, something becomes symbiotic a little bit.
You know, because we all walk in, we all have that mask, you know, that day-to-day mask. Oh, I know, you kind of think you figured people out. And then you go to an acting class, like, all right, hello, how are you? And then when they come on stage, you know, you learn, then you find what you have in common or what your life journey is. You're like, oh, wow, I've experienced that too, but I wouldn't have known that if I just looked at you for 5 seconds and thought I figured you all out.
Yeah.
So, you know, peel back those layers and strip each other down.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to what every teacher would say, and some students are reluctant to admit, like, you learn just as much sitting in those chairs than you do moving up here.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Just because you don't have a scene to put up tonight or your name didn't get called, this is a classroom and we are learning together.
Right.
Steal ideas, get inspired, notice things. You know, maybe you would have done that scene if you were on stage the same or different, and listen to the notes being given, listen to each other talk about it.
Yeah.
You're not just sitting there. You better be paying attention.
Yeah, for
Put
your
your
own
phone
benefit.
away and
yes.
open up those ears and close your mouth and listen. Yeah.
And it's even more advantageous for us as teachers.
Yes.
Whoa, look at what he just did. Mm-hmm. Look at that. And then getting to talk about it afterwards and getting a full breakdown and understanding of it.
Yes.
It allows us to always readjust. That's been the biggest thing for me, is like trying to show up sometimes and say, students, feel it. Feel it all. Feel it right now. isn't what a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old can offer me.
No, or even an adult,
Yes.
that's just had to bury so much or, be a certain way. It'll happen for them when they just give themselves permission,
Yeah.
to listen and just go for it.
Right.
Especially when they feel like they're in a safe place where everybody's here cheering each other on.
Well, and that's why we're guides. Like, that's why we're guides, is because we can support them in their journey and their process, but we also can't be the one to push them up the mountain.
No, you certainly don't want to trip them and
No.
push them and go, I told you, that does not work.
So I'm curious. So you're kind of right now, currently at Take Two, you are teaching the children.
I'm teaching the children right now. I've gone through all classes, all cycles, but I also have a full-time job
Right.
and a family. I've been Saturday kids class, doing that for a very long time. I took a short break, then I came back in February, and it's good. We had our showcase today.
Yes, you did.
16 students, lots of parents and friends and guests. It was wonderful. It was electric.
Yeah.
The kids, nobody loves the rehearsal process, especially little kids. Like, are we done yet? Like, trust me, when the lights go up and you've got that energy of the audience,
Right.
you're going to be all in. And plus, I had snacks at the end. That's always a big draw.
Then they're really
Oh,
motivated.
they stay to the end because I had chips and M&Ms.
Yes.
But it was great. They just, their little faces. And I have a few quieter kids that took big chances today. And I was so proud of them. In the beginning, they would just, slink down in the chair. Maybe not, why am I here? I really want to play soccer or go see grandma. Whatever they want to do on a Saturday. But they delivered. So proud. And I don't care. I'm not everybody's here to be an actor or a Hollywood actor or whatever. It helps
Right.
their journey in their entire life.
Right.
Good Lord. Every aspect of your life. If you can take an acting class, I don't care. Do it.
Yeah.
It opens up those doors of everything else that you're asking for in your life. Your job, your family, your relationships. Car dealership, I don't know. Haggling for a better
Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
Use those acting skills.
I always say our creativity can help us find the potential to live a more gratifying life. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's kind of a broad concept to it to some degree, but also it's very simple. Like, if you can live authentically on a stage within someone else's experience, you can move. It gives you the opportunity to move into something more authentic within your space, within your story.
Yeah, you start looking at yourself in the mirror a little differently.
Yeah.
How authentic am I?
Mm-hmm.
Am I following my heart? Am I listening to my own, that little voice in your head?
Yeah.
You pay attention more. Your eyes are wide open.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the skills that come along with that, like the practical ideas within the craft of acting, not necessarily even just the feely stuff. Are we listening? Mm-hmm. Are we trusting our instinct? Are we leaning into connection? Are we taking risks, being dangerous? Like, those are all part of the creative process as well.
Yes.
And not just in acting. I would say that also can bleed into many other art forms.
Absolutely, and I hope it does. Just being alive, participating in your own life. It doesn't have to be on a stage.
No.
It can be in the workplace. It could be, the grocery store. I don't care. Just, are you alive? Are your eyes open? Are you observing? Are you absorbing?
Right.
Participate.
Yeah. I'm getting that for the first time. I think I've heard that before, and for the first time in my life, I'm like, oh, I didn't know this belonged to me, and now I'm participating in a way that I know it belongs to me.
Right, and just saying yes to things. It's hard to say yes to things because there's so many other distractions.
Oh.
Really?
Yes. At all times, we are always like,
Every day.
What else is going on? What's the next moment leading to? How am I going to
Right.
get to it?
Right.
As opposed, and I think that acting can really help with allowing you to be more present.
Oh, totally grounded, listening to yourself, confidence,
Yeah.
speaking up. It's just having projection and volume is a skill.
Right.
Because some people don't want to be, quiet, or they don't want to be heard, or maybe they don't think what they're saying is important. Baloney! Say it! You might get reactions of all different flavors. Who cares? Talk about it.
There's times in my life where I genuinely fear that I over-communicate too much. but I would take my ability to over communicate any day, as opposed to the lack of communication that is necessary for the relationship or my life to function.
Yeah, oh gosh, burying your voice or just bending over
Right.
just to make peace. I mean, we've all done that, but as you get older, whatever, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, you definitely get bolder as you age.
Because to some extent, there's less fucks to give, right?
Yeah! Flush it! Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Yeah, I think about kind of an experience recently losing a friend, and how the reason I lost the friend is because I expressed my opinion and feeling. I thought I did so in a tactful way. She did not agree. And ultimately, like, she had every right to her reaction.
Sure.
She got to feel exactly how she wanted to feel.
Life isn't scripted.
No.
She did not have a piece of paper, and you didn't have a piece of paper in your hand that this is what you say, and this is what they say, and this is what you say. Those are real moments, and sometimes they suck.
Sometimes they suck. But I would never take that back. Because it all happened the way that it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the journey, right?
Part of the journey.
So I think I'm going to ask you a question that is actually advantageous to me, because I am subbing your Saturday class next week.
Little darlings.
What is your perspective on the difference between teaching adults and children?
I notice with the adult classes, they come in from life, big life,
Right.
jobs and exhaustion and whatever they're doing. And they'll sit and you'll give them stuff and they'll just take it, the adults. They're like, okay, I'm here. I'm not ready to think yet until you light that fire. And here's the scripts. This is what we're doing. Or get on stage. Let's all do warm-ups. But with kids, at least this group, they just come in like firecrackers. All right. And they tell you what they want to do. Miss Holly, can we do this? Miss Holly, can we do that? Hey, I saw this. I want to try that. Hey, here's a joke. They want to be heard. They want to get on stage. They want to yuck it up. It's so different. They just come at me with all the things they want to talk about, all the things they want to do, try, do over, fix. They are very much into it. Like it's an automatic trampoline as soon as class begins. They are just, here I am, let's do something. And they'll tell me what they want to do.
They're participating.
Definitely. It's their Saturday morning. They've had school all week. They're, whether they wanted to be here or not. But once they know they can trust me, and I hear them, and we have fun.
I hear it.
Yeah,
I hear
there's
it.
a lot of hijinks going on. My job is to keep them alive and in the building.
Yes.
And I'll get on stage with them. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this scene with you. I'm going to be the circus guy, or I'm going to be the lady at the bakery. And I'll do characters or, body silly, my leg's broken or something. Or we've been using a lot of the props. Why not do a sword, in this scene, even though
Right.
you're at the Meadowood Mall, whatever. Have fun. And then they're like, I want to grab something. So, and these are times that you want them to remember. It's a wonderful feeling when you have students that are now grown up and they see you somewhere and go, gosh, I really enjoyed that class. That was so much fun. They're not big actors. Who cares? But they remember that it was okay every Saturday morning to come and be silly and loud and weird and goofy that they may not be able to do in school or at home or whatever else they do.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. These kids come in with 50 ideas for me. I have a lesson plan. Sometimes I just throw it out the window. Okay, we're going to play Mafia for 45 minutes. But therefore, we're going to make it a higher level so that we can at least learn something. I don't want you here just laying on the floor or, playing the winking game. But I just listen, and they always have the best ideas for class. Or as adults, like I said, might come in and just go, I'm exhausted. What am I doing? Just tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm terrified.
No, they'll love you.
No, I know we'll have a great time. I think there was an evolution. I was working the front desk, and Justine had me work with, I told you about this, had me work with one of the students, a really great student. And we read through the lines a couple times, and I was doing some work, and then I had to go in and do the scene. And it's a class of kids. There's so much acceptance just within the energy and within the space I could do anything and they would find enjoyment out of it.
Yes.
They would find satisfaction out of the fact that I was having fun
Oh,
along with
yeah.
them, and the energy was moving between us, and me and my scene partner were having fun, and like I really didn't think that I would have the ability to teach children anytime soon, because like I recognize that some of my approach to the work is pretty heady.
Sure. And you're like, I'm an adult now, and I do adult things, and this is an adult moment. But, you know, you got to know your audience, and on Saturday mornings, that audience is a room full of kids.
Yeah, no, I already have plans. You call it Mafia, we called it Assassin.
Oh, we got that. Yeah.
Yes.
And there's another game now. They want to play Restaurant. I think they just like using
Restaurant.
Yeah. They love the kitchen stuff.
Great.
And I have my son's old Starbucks aprons. Those are
Yeah.
all mine that I brought in from Jake. Oh my gosh, they love anything, any Starbucks thing. Can we do a Starbucks thing? I wanna play. They all of a sudden their dream in life is to be a barista. Well,
good for them.
you. Yeah, we got the apron. Let's have some fun.
Yes. That's such great insight. I think for me, I hope to have fun.
Yes.
Like I want to let go a little bit, because I'm teaching 2 kids classes next week.
Oh.
I'm definitely going to need the vacation following that.
Yes, you will be ready to pack your bags and say, see ya.
Yeah.
Well, good. Thank God for you. Well, you have young energy anyway.
Thank you.
And you're silly. And you do funny voices.
But I think what's hard is like, maybe not hard, but what I'm finding is within the environment, I depending on the environment, I can lose that a bit. Like I can get heady, I can get lost, I can lose the moment a little bit because I want to do it right.
Yeah. Well, as a teacher, you walk in going, I want these people to learn something. I want to make sure they walk away with some new information. I want to make sure, they got their money's worth and all yada, yada, yada. And then when that's definitely top of mind. And then we get kind of stuck in the weeds with that.
Yeah.
And then you just got to, exhale and take the temperature of the room. You can kind of get a vibe from the students, adults especially, like, hey, what do they need? What's the mood?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I taught the kids voice class, and I was really tempted, because I'm not a vocal teacher. I'm a singer, but I'm not a vocal teacher by any means. And I was really tempted to just bring in a bouncy ball and just kind of like throw it and see what happens. And not participate, right? Like just let them pick all the fun.
Yeah.
And the moment that I started participating, singing along with them, dancing along to Justin Bieber's Baby, like, that's when I could feel the connection happening between.
That connection is huge.
Yeah.
If there's that hierarchy, I'm the teacher, you're the student, you're going to follow all my rules, and then you're going to go home. Nobody has a good time. They get that already, maybe in regular school or whatever they're doing. Most likely not, because there's some obviously phenomenal teachers. But everybody has a curriculum.
Yeah.
And a lesson plan, and an end point. But here, luckily, you have the freedom to be silly and loud and just see where the vibe takes everybody.
Yeah. I think to some extent, like, I can even work in, like, my technique. You've seen me work,
heck
like,
yeah.
my side
You sneak
coaching
it in,
can
like
be really,
broccoli and the
Yeah.
mashed potatoes. They don't know what's there, but they're getting good stuff.
yeah. Like, I think that my side coaching can be fun, can speak to, like, the joy that they've already been bringing in.
Yes.
Elevate it.
I'm all about side
Invite it.
coaching.
Yeah.
I can't be quiet anyway.
No.
So I'm like right there.
That's why we get along.
Try this.
Yeah.
Shut up, woman. I can't.
No.
Because you're still excited about, the craft. Even to this day, whether I've been doing it, like long now, 45 years, 40 years, I don't know. I don't even remember. And it's still there, which is so exciting to have something in your life that makes you light up or giggle or, want to skip to where you need to go.
I spend 12 hours a day here.
I know.
And
You're the mayor.
There's still a governor.
Yes, there is, and she's lovely. And
She's amazing.
And I met her at the Showboat Hotel, 1982.
I think in every single interview so far, we've gushed about Justine. So she's going to be so happy when they start coming up.
I call her Lady J. And
Ooh.
I usually bow.
And you usually bow.
And then she
can see you doing
laughs
that.
and walks away from me.
Yeah. Before we started, you were going through the questions that I had kind of sent. And the one question you asked about is, what is your greatest true passion? most sincere passion, creative passion. So I feel inclined to ask you that question now that, since you asked about it. What is your most sincere creative passion?
I like people. I need people. I'm a people person. I like learning from people, watching people, listening to people. I don't know, being there. I don't like isolation. I don't like quiet time usually. And I think every job I've had has been about be up front, go to the people. Secretary, receptionist, hostess at a restaurant, front desk lady at a school, stuff like that. I'm always up there. Julie McCoy, cruise director. That's what I've always kind of thought of myself, which I love the Love Boat. That was my big show when I was a kid. Oh, I love that show. It's still on, by the way. I just like being up front, not watching from behind. But then I feel like the more I'm out there, the more things I see, the more things I can bring that in the classroom. Life stories, things you've observed in people's lives. How can you carry that? And if you ever have a character like that, remember that feeling you had when you heard that story or experienced that with someone. Bring it, honor it and bring it in your scenes and in your teaching. I'm not good hiding or sometimes waiting my turn. I'm working on it. But I don't know. I just, people drive me. People excite me.
I appreciate that because of how I feel a reflection in it. Sometimes I feel like I'm too much.
Yep.
Less and less now. But I think I am someone who takes the opportunity to get what he wants, but also support what others want.
Oh, heck yeah. You got to be arm in arm,
Yeah.
People need each other, especially after the last 2 years, gosh. Ugh. Lockdown, for people that need people.
Yeah.
And even the mask, I want to see your whole face. I know you're in there. That was a wild ride, teaching from home or Zoom or, not going outside or doing this or that. Oh, those were some dark days.
Yeah.
That was a mind.
And that's why we need the work so much now.
Yeah.
Because of what it can bring back for us, or what it can reinstate, or what it can redevelop, or what it can change in us that serves a further purpose.
Yes. And I love that people are now coming together as far as, getting out of their house, going back to the games and the live theater and this and that. But for creative types, oh my gosh, all the theater in town.
Yeah.
It killed me, knowing what they were going through and trying to stay open and all that. It was just, the creative ways they kept that train on the track. Even here. Oh my gosh, the conversations, with Justine. Okay, we're pivoting now. Zoom classes and this and home self-tapes and all you just pull out of that rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah.
Just to keep people's hearts alive, It was tough, especially for, creative folks that need to be out, need to be with other people in big crowds and just around each other.
Yeah. It's interesting because I found my time during the last 2 years a roller coaster of things. There was when things started to really shift at the beginning of 2020. I was in a really good spot, and I had about a year where I was in a good spot, and there was this really strange feeling of like my life is moving forward, and I feel a sense of joy and comfort and safety and peace in a way that I probably haven't. Which it dissolved. It dissolved very quickly after the year ended. And the car crash, yeah. But within the world, within the context of what the world was going through, it was very strange for me.
Yes, I mean, you couldn't write a worse or better science fiction, whatever. Oh my gosh! But here we are.
Here we are. I was just going to say that. Yes. We're back,
and you appreciate things more.
Yes, there's more. There's a different sense of urgency to some extent to do the things you need to do because of what we've all been through.
Yes.
And communally what we've all been through.
Yeah. And people had epiphanies.
Yeah.
You know, when life took a nosedive, they're like, okay, you know what? Life is too short. I'm going to try that silly little acting class that I've always wanted to do 30 years ago. And then I put myself on the shelf, and now I've got time and a little bit of money to do a class and just see what it's like.
Yeah.
Or people take that trip, or they say those words they were too afraid to say until, you know, life changed. Like, you know what? I'm going to speak. you're going to hear my voice.
Yeah. It's invaluable.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a lot of aspects within the work that I talk about, and within my own healing process, recognizing my intuition and my ability to use that intuition to speak for better, to speak to me creating the life that I want, is what I want to distill in my students through the work.
Yes.
It's like what you get to do up here, and that's why trusting your instincts in the work is so vital, because it allows it to inform what we're doing outside of these doors.
Yes.
If you can play a character that says, fuck you, I'm going to live my life, you best believe it's going to be easier to do it once
you will find those words when you need them in your day-to-day life. Yes.
Yeah.
We are not little pod people. You know? No.
We're all connected.
Yes. We got a lot of branches on our tree.
Yes, we do.
Oh, let's talk about trees.
Talk to me about Davidson Academy a little
Davidson
bit.
Academy, that's my full-time job. I love it there. It's a wonderful school for profoundly gifted students up at UNR campus. We've only got about 163 kids this year, but that's a lot for our little building. And these are students, middle school through high school, that also take UNR University classes as well. It is a free public school. It is not a private school. It is a free public school. A very long admissions and application process, because of the test scores and 1 percentile. I don't know how I got in the building, but I'm the lady at the front desk going, hi, where are you going? Where's your hall pass? But I love it. Love it. Love the people. Fantastic teachers and staff. I look so forward to going to work. I was sick 2 days this past week, and I hated it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I wasn't, vacation. No. I was like, get better, get back to work. The kids are lovely and fun, and I also, besides being the front desk attendance lady and records coordinator,
Which is very important.
Very important.
Yes.
Very important. I'm also on Friday. Fridays are fun Fridays, where they have amazing electives. Culinary class, kung fu, crafting, aviation. I mean, the funnest. Last year we had the history of pop music.
Nice.
I'd
sign up for that
fun,
one.
because their brains are so serious Monday through Thursday, splitting the atom. Fridays is fun. So when I teach Friday mornings, the acting classes for those students that want to take that class, I call it the Actor Factor.
Oh, that's
Isn't
good.
that good?
That's so
I
good.
don't know how I came up with that. It's a miracle. And this year I have about 13 students, and it's what I'm thrilled to do it, because I asked them, just let go of all that serious academic stuff you're doing Monday through Thursday. Right now, you might be playing a pony. Okay, you might be being a 4-year-old crying at a circus. Get rid of all the big GPA stuff in your head, or Harvard. Make it go away for 2 hours, and we just have fun. They love it. They are, oh my gosh, just stripping all that down and give yourself permission to be silly and goofy and weird and whatever. We had a great class yesterday. Yesterday was Friday. Some breakthroughs, because they'll start the class like, I don't know you, lady. You don't teach history. You don't teach math.
Yeah.
You're the weird lady up front, and I ask for a Band-Aid all the time. And then it's safe, it's silly, it's fun. They bring in stuff. Oh, Miss Holly, can I bring a monologue from a movie I saw? Or one kid, I love him. He's a junior this year. He's also a big baseball player. He loves to play baseball. And now he's into singing. His goal and dream is to be on The Voice. And so the last few Fridays, he's brought in some songs to sing. I mean, totally vulnerable. A kid at 16 singing his heart out in front of a bunch of kids on a Friday morning about love and whatever. And he's now bringing in songs to sing and wants our feedback. And then yesterday, one of the students said, "Can I bring in a song next Friday? And it's in another language." I'm like, heck yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
please.
we clap for each other. We some of the songs make us cry. Some of us cheer. And it's like, it's okay. Bring all your creativity Friday morning to this class at Davidson and see what we do. And I love it when they see a student do a scene and they're like, "Oh, I want to do it. Can I do that? Let me try that." We had a kidnapping scene yesterday where, oh, you're blindfolded, you're tied up to the chair, but it was funny. Bunch of kids raised their hand and wanted to do it, or they had suggestions, not critiques. "Hey, maybe if you do this, and can we play some music in the background?" So it's just silly time, creative time, and we do a big showcase for the parents in the spring. And last year's group of kids, we did our spring showcase, and I had several parents come to me and said, "I didn't know my kid was funny. I didn't know my kid could do that. I didn't know my kid," because at home you're doing homework.
Yeah.
But they just shine. It thrills me. And that's kind of those kids in my class. Like, that's our little thing. And like when you see them throughout the rest of the week, like, "I remember you last week. You played an old lady, or you played a kid, working at a gas station."
I think to some extent you get to. There are boundaries within it, but you get to be the friend.
Mm-hmm. Oh, boundaries extent. For sure. Yeah.
There's boundaries within it. Like you're the adult, they're the child, but you also, because you are tapping into that childlike nature, there's a sense of safety of like, I can go to her differently than I can maybe to other teachers.
Sure. Yeah. That's what Fun Friday is all about.
Yeah.
Just letting your hair down and take whatever fun class you want. Up to 3 classes on Fridays, different choices. And the teachers, come up with a lot of the ideas for the Friday electives, or sometimes they're student-led, a group of kids like, "We want to do this, we want the history of art," or whatever.
Nice.
It's so great. They get that exhale on Fridays. It's super fun.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but what I kind of was picking up on, you had said like there was some maybe hesitation isn't the perfect word, but when you were describing the difference between adults and children coming from real life, it sounds like these kids come in as the adults that they need to present to be, but they're actually the kids underneath.
Oh, yeah.
And need that release. Because when you were telling that story, it moved from this place of like, what is this lady doing? Which is very adult. Mm-hmm. And then it moved into the exact same exploration that the kids here in this space provide.
Yeah. It's okay to be silly. It's okay to be goofy. It's okay to try things and fail. Because, they see the adults, whether it's their teachers or their parents or anybody, working at a job.
Right.
This is what we do, and this is, how it's supposed to be, and there's a this and a this and a this. But in an acting class or any kind of creative class, it's like, it may be a mess. It may be a shit show, but let's make it the best mess and the best shit show ever. Just try.
Well, we were talking about that right before. I repeat the podcasts are going to be obnoxious because I repeat myself over and over the same ideas. But these are things that I really have a wholehearted belief in, this idea of like redefining words that have a certain context that don't need to serve that context anymore for us.
Right.
Silly, goofy. These are things that could be looked at as flippant or like not valuable. Yeah. Like they don't serve a purpose. And you're being silly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You're wasting your time. There's no value in that.
But there's no such thing as wasting time when you're having fun.
No.
Period.
No. And that shared moment, with other people that you normally wouldn't share these moments with, right? But you're in that little circle in that moment of time.
Yeah.
And rolling in the mud together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's what I value.
We're planning on doing a scene together, so it'll be interesting to see.
It's going to be a good one.
It'll be interesting to see the kind of silliness we get into.
Holy moly, yes.
Yes. Holly, thank you so much. I do want to finish up with a final question that I kind of throw at people.
Oh, goody. Goody.
It's kind of mean. I'll be
Oh,
totally honest.
Wonderful.
Because in my lesson on love, you've heard my lesson on love. It's the lesson that I
Yes.
gave the day
Yes, indeed.
the
Yes,
day you
indeed.
were there.
You're not going to read my diary, are you?
No, not
okay.
today. We come back again, and maybe we'll circle back.
Oh, it's a good one.
I talk about the definition of love, and how everyone potentially has a different definition. And when you ask that question, how do you define love? You're kind of an asshole. So I'm gonna be the asshole.
Did I say that?
No, me. Not you. You're good.
No, you're the asshole.
I'm
okay,
the asshole.
Oh, good. Oh,
Me.
perfect. I was hoping
Yes.
so.
So I'm gonna be the asshole, and I'm curious. How do you define love?
Oh, trust. When you see someone, you just are filled up. You know, they're your orange juice in your belly. You know, just
Yes.
you. There are no words. It's a feeling. You know, you feel comfort around them. You feel safe around them. You enjoy them. You want them.
Mm-hmm.
That I think that human animal tribal feeling of these are my people. These are like I love that person. I love that person. You know, you want them and you care about them and they fill you up. You fill each other up. Fill each other up.
I love what you just said about animal.
We are human animals.
Right.
Hello.
Because I think we tend to overcomplicate love. Mm-hmm. We overcomplicate a multitude of things, but this idea of love, when you're right, you just know.
You just know.
You just know.
You just know.
And maybe love can evolve. Because I've been in love before. And in that moment, fuck, I probably was.
Yes, in that moment.
In that moment.
Love can change.
Yes.
Underneath love, there is hate.
Right.
Hate, love, and sometimes they dance around each other. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We all have those wounds.
Yeah.
But in my life, love, it's just you found your people, you know, whoever they are, whatever they are. You just you need them and want them, and they fill you up, and you light up around each other, and even those wonderful conversations together, and they just walked into your life. You didn't sign up for it. You didn't send away for it. You didn't pay for it. That's a different kind of love. But you just like people I love here. They're not everybody, but you know, there are people you're like, oh gosh, I get to see that person today.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a married woman, so that's a different kind of love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Children, oh my gosh. That's a love you can't even describe. It's just immediate. Just your whole life, your heart just explodes.
Yeah. I think like everything you said is so beautiful. A little bit of what I'm hearing though within it all is like this idea of instinct, which I think is so important to like how I teach and approach the work of instinct. Like, okay, my body's saying that's where we're going. That's the person I love, that I have love for that person. Mm-hmm. We don't need to over intellectualize it.
No. And we've all done that, especially when we're younger or when you watched movies as a kid, like, this is how love is supposed to be. This happens, and then this happens. And then it doesn't, and it's a big mess, you know, carnage in the street of your life. Like, well, that's not what everything I grew up thought love was going to be like. So you just have to trust what your inner whatever is telling you. You know, just listen to yourself. You know what works. You know what's right.
Yeah.
You know what feels.
And it's but it also needs you have to become attuned as well. Like it's an ability just as much as it is a feeling.
Yes. Yeah, and some love is good. Some love ain't so good.
Yeah.
But you know, like I said, we're human animals. You're supposed to have experiences. You're supposed to feel things. You're supposed to
participate.
Good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah.
You're alive, for God's sake.
Yeah. Oh, this was so fun. Thank you so much for
Grant
doing
Davis,
this.
what a guy. I have a crush on you. I just got to tell you that right now.
Oh, I have a crush on you.
Knock it
And I
off.
do love you. Thank
I love
you so much.
I've
Thank you so
loved
much.
you forever. Since I met you, I'm like, oh, sparkle.
You make me feel very special, and I'm so glad that you're here at the studio. And I talked to my mom, and I said, you know, I'm really glad Holly's there. I feel like I have someone that I can really talk. We can talk each other's ear off.
Oh,
Like
sure.
we both have the ability to show up and like share in conversation because we both want to dominate in it in some sense.
Okay,
Yes.
when you're done, I got
Yes,
something. And then
yes.
you're done, I'm done, you're done something. Yeah, I know. And that's, you find each other.
Yeah.
You know? As soon as we met, and especially in this year, it's like, oh, okay, I already feel like I get it.
Right.
I know. We sense each other's rhythm and electricity.
Well, and I'm sure a huge component of why maybe even situationally we couldn't be closer because I was living in LA and
Right.
I wasn't really here at the studio, but also I thank God that I'm now that I walked into the life that I did the way I did in every single way so that I could be this man and so that we can be friends
Yes.
and so that I can have relationships with people differently than how I did before.
Right. You just had to get up and walk a different direction, which is terrifying.
Yes.
think?
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah. I know, but I don't know. It's like you. It's almost like you already knew. You're inside. You know, you're trying to in your head versus your heart, and your outside versus your inside. You were already being positioned and pointed, whether it's your little guardian angels or grandma, who knows. You know, it was always going to be okay. That's what I tell my kids. It's always going to be okay.
I could go off on that point for a million years. You have to get going, but again, thank you so much for being here, and listeners, what a special episode today.
Yay!
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you. Wow, what an honor to be asked.
Of course.
Yeah.
You can come back. We'll do a couple
Well, yeah.
seasons, and you
An
can be
update.
a reoccurring character. Yes.
What happened to these two?
Again, this is the Creative Healing Podcast. I am your host, Grant Davis, and may we all find our way to the present through creative healing.